Hi, I'm Ali Plumb, and I'm the new Radio 1 and 1 Extra film critic. Out this week, we have The Revenant, and we've got an interview with Domhnall, Gleeson and Will Poulter for that one. Then we've got Creed, and we've got an interview with Michael B. Jordan, the star of that one as well. Finally, there's Room, which stars Brie Larson, but she didn't return my calls, so we couldn't get a hold of her. Sorry about that. The Revenant is the latest from Birdman director Alejandro G. Inarritu, and it stars some guy called Leonardo DiCaprio as fur trapper Hugh Glass, who has the worst week ever after he's beaten up by a bear and left for dead by his friends. As you can see from that clip, it is pretty awful out there in the Wild West, covered in snow and freezing their shoes off. Here are a couple of Leo's co-stars, Domhnall Gleeson and Will Poulter, answering the question, so just how uncomfortable was it shooting this movie?
Pretty.
You got pretty?
No, pretty cold and pretty uncomfortable, yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was a very tough experience. I think speaking to cast and crew alike, there was a shared feeling that this was the hardest thing we've ever done.
Alejandro set it up to be, it was challenging, it was really difficult, and it was designed that way. He wanted it to be both of those things, and he thought the film would be better as a result, and I wish I didn't, but I do agree with him. Unfortunately, he was absolutely right, The
Revenant is one of those movies that is well acted, well crafted, well directed and well shot, and truly I really want to recommend it to you. The trouble is that with a movie that's essentially nearly 3 hours of Leonardo DiCaprio being beaten up, I'm not sure whether this will be everyone's cup of tea. With 12 Oscar nominations under its belt, it is one of the finest films you'll see this year, and yet it is a bit of a brutal one. So I'm going to give it, on reflection, 4 out of 5 stars. Apollo Creed was one of Rocky's fiercest enemies and later friends in the original Rocky franchise. His son, Adonis Creed, is the star of the new movie, aptly called Creed.
Your father was special. To tell you the truth, I don't know if he's special. Only you're gonna know that when the time is right. And it ain't gonna come overnight. You're gonna take a beat, you're gonna take this, you're gonna get knocked out, you're gonna get up, and you're gonna see if you got the right thing. But you gotta work hard. I swear to God, if you're not gonna do it, I'm out.
I caught up with Michael B. Jordan earlier this week and I asked him who would he most like to square off against in the inevitable sequel.
I'm trying to think of somebody around my age that would make sense.
I'm thinking your co-star from Fantastic Four.
I mean, Miles doesn't want these problems. That's the first person I thought about. Miles, you don't want these problems. You hear that? No. Me and Miles, we're really good friends, man. And we were actually training for boxing films at the same time. He was doing the Vinny Paz biopic, Bleed for This, and I was doing this one. So he was losing weight, and I was gaining weight. So we're very competitive. But I don't know. That's a great question. Maybe Tom Hardy's pretty.
Tom Hardy
is pretty badass. I don't know.
Tom Hardy in an Ivan Drago role would. Don't get me started.
I'm just saying that's nice.
Sly Stallone really walks away with this movie, and I must say I loved him in this quite emotionally vulnerable role. He's already picked up a Golden Globe and is set to do well at the Oscars with a nomination in the Best Supporting Actor category. The two of them work really well together, and I can't wait to see what happens later on in the series. Frankly, this is the best boxing movie I've seen in ages, and I'm looking at you, Jake Gyllenhaal. Southpaw doesn't have anything on this one. If it weren't so similar to the first film, I'd give it 5, but as it is, it's 4 stars for me for Creed. And finally, Room.
I did not hit her. I did not.
No, not that one. This is a Brie Larson drama, and here's a clip from it to give you a taste.
When I was a little older, when I was 17, I was walking home from
Where
school.
was I?
You were still up in heaven. But there was a guy, he pretended that his dog was
What
sick.
guy?
Old Nick. We call him Old Nick. I don't know what his real name is. But he pretended his dog was sick.
What's the dog's name?
Jack, there wasn't a dog. He was trying to trick me.
Telling the traumatizing story of a young mother and her son trapped inside a garden shed by a malicious character called Old Nick. This is not exactly a comedy you're looking at here, but it is well acted and well directed. And yes, it does stretch believability a little bit here and there, but it's a stunningly effective, incredible gut punch of a movie. And if you're willing to tackle such strong and difficult themes, this is one for you. 4 stars out of 5 for Room. Coming up next week, we have The Fifth Wave, The Big Short, and Ride Along 2. I'll see you next time.